Hi there, folks. Let's see if I can get this. Okay. Just been doing some praying here and thinking about some of the other things that the Lord has shown me that are going to be taking place during the 1,000 years of peace. And they're going to be pretty amazing. Let's see if I can just get this right. I can't see the view through the lens, so I'm just kind of guessing what the framing is like. But anyway, just talking about an ordinary day during the 1,000 years of peace. Because there's going to be two types of ordinary days. An ordinary day for you, the wise virgins, the wise virgins, the servants of the Lord, those in the body of Christ, those who are given positions of authority during the 1,000 years of peace. That ordinary day is going to be different from an ordinary day of the flesh and bloodline of Adam. Those who are the survivors of Armageddon, their children, their great-grandchildren, great-great-great-grandchildren, as they grow up and populate the planet Earth during the 1,000 years of peace. Their bloodline or their daily activity, their daily routine is going to be different than our daily routine. Mainly because they are not going to be bothered by the stresses that we're bothered by. Because they don't have to deal with an economic system that says, oh, I have to work because I got to pay rent and I got to pay bills and I got to buy groceries. They don't have any of that to worry about. And of course, you, a wise servant of the Lord, in your regenerated body, with your new home on the 1,000 years of peace, you wouldn't have to worry about that anyway. But for the life of the average person during the 1,000 years of peace, they don't have at all anything at all like what we have to deal with, what the stress is. They, I'm sure, will still have to deal with personalities and politics amongst their own group and amongst their own schools and classrooms and workplaces. But because you, the wise virgins and the servants of the Lord, will be in various positions throughout the world, not only governing people on a community level, but on a workplace level as well. And because you've proven yourself to be peacemakers, the same kind of stresses that we experience now in the office place or in schools or in homes, that's not going to exist during the 1,000 years of peace. During the 1,000 years of, or before the 1,000 years of peace, right now, between Adam and Eve and the time of the rapture, those are the kind of leaders Jesus has been looking for. Are the people who can keep peace, the people who are generous, the people who are not selfish, the people who are kind and forgiving and loving. Those are going to be the leaders during the 1,000 years of peace. Those are going to be the ones in the workplace, governing cities and communities, governing nations as well, too. Are those ones who've proven during the tough times that even with times as tough as they can be, they can still be kind, they can still be gentle, they can still be loving, like you're showing. So those are going to be leaders. So the average day for the average person is not going to be a stressful one like we have now. Because again, if they wanted to, an average person, if they wanted to keep a fridge, they could keep a fridge if they wanted to. Or at the end of the workday, they can just go down to a market, pick up whatever kind of foods they wanted for supper that evening, and just take it home and cook it. Or they can just go into any restaurant during the 1,000 years of peace, and they can just sit down and people will serve them. People serve them because they've always wanted to cook. Some people like to serve other people. Some people like to cook. Some people like to run restaurants. Some people like to run hotels. There is no industry, no business, no workplace during the 1,000 years of peace where people charge money. So people can just walk anywhere during the 1,000 years of peace, and they will be taken care of. They won't have to worry about, oh, I'm a homeless person. I have to beg so that I can buy a sandwich. I have to go look into the garbage for something to eat. That is going to be totally non-existent during the 1,000 years of peace. Jesus is going to be setting up a brand new global society. Cities that are run efficiently. People that are run or that run society for the benefit of other people. You wise virgins and all the people right now before the rapture, everybody in the body of Christ right now has particular skills and talents. Whether you're an architect, whether you're a designer, whether you're a construction worker, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a cook, whether you're a mother, a father, whether you're an uncle, whatever it is you do, those particular skills will be of great use during the 1,000 years of peace. Not only will you be leaders during the 1,000 years of peace, but you will also be teachers as well. You have a particular skill set that others will want to learn too. And so there will be a certain amount of learning, and there will be a certain amount of daily routine during the 1,000 years of peace. But there will also be, for the most part, it will be a vacation spot. 1,000 years of peace that Jesus is going to be setting up for the average person. What I saw in the vision, especially yesterday, and the visions that I've seen since the 90s, is that people, the average person, is going to be working 2 months, 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, and then they'll be on holidays for 2 months. And even if they're gone for 2 months, the system will be at such peak efficiency that there will be somebody that can step into that position for another 2 months, and things won't falter when they're gone. Everything will keep running smoothly, even if people get a 2-month vacation. And this is the other thing that I've been meaning to talk about for a while, and I've been praying about it for a while. Is in the 90s, I had these visions of these things called floaters. And during the 1,000 years of peace, in the sky, you will look up at some point. You may or may not see, it depends on what time of the day or what time of the month or what time of the year it is. You may see a floater or two, or a drifter or two. And these drifters are basically city-sized luxury liners. And all they do is they just float around the globe in one direction. But because there's 12 of them, there's 12 of them floating around the globe in different directions, and each of them takes about a year to go around. And the average citizen, those of the bloodline of Adam, because they don't have your powers to think yourselves around or to fly, because they are stuck in time and space, they plan their vacations around whatever floater is coming by. And so when it's time for their vacation, they just go to the airport, hop aboard a shuttle. It takes them to one of these floating drifters, and the drifter itself is a vacation spot in itself. It has amusement parks, it has swimming pools, it has dining places. It's just a beautiful thing to be. But anyway, they stay on this particular drifter, and it drifts apart to some part of the planet that they want to vacation at. And when it gets to that part, they just take a shuttle down to the planet, and they have their little vacation there. When their vacation is over there, they catch another drifter back to home, where they go back to work for 2 months at a time. And it's just the things that we will be creating, because we, the wise virgins and the servants of the Lord, in these days before the rapture, we are the designers, we're the construction workers, we're the contractors. We will know how to design a city to make it run efficiently. We will know how to design vehicles to make them run efficiently. So the world, technology, the technology during the 1,000 years of peace, it's going to be that much more efficient. It's going to be that much more amazing. The largest building that we have now is going to be the smallest building during the 1,000 years of peace. All our technology, whether it's flying, whether it's for the water, on top of the water or under the water, whether it's a land vehicle, whether it's a floating vehicle, whatever it is, it's not going to pollute. Jesus is going to show us how to create technology that's going to incorporate the forces of nature, as well as pieces of nature, elements of nature. It's just going to be a much more efficient world for everybody. In terms of their daily life, they will still have work, they will still have jobs, but there'll be jobs that they want to go to. It'll be jobs that they enjoy, jobs that we enjoy, things that we enjoy doing. So time is going to be a lot better in terms of an ordinary day during the 1,000 years of peace. It's going to be far more glorious, and it's going to be far more enjoyable than the days that we have now before the rapture, because they're being controlled by the darker forces, and they're not meant for our personal benefit. They say it's for our benefit, but it's really for their wallets. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. That's it for now. Just know that the 1,000 years of peace, as we progress, is going to be a whole lot more efficient and a whole lot more enjoyable for everybody there. So that's it. Be a blessing wherever you are in the world. Just be a blessing wherever you are in internet land and YouTube world. Jesus is going to be here sooner rather than later. Take care. Stay in prayer. We'll see you in Jesus' kingdom somewhere over there, or maybe even somewhere up in the air. Okay. Jesus rules.